Waiting for. Well, alrighty. Hello, everyone. Today is February the 3rd, 2025. We are getting ready for our normal city council meeting, as well as a public hearing, I see. So we're going to go ahead and call to order with a roll call starting from my right, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman Vanilla,
Mayor Pro Tem Amelia Inman.
Councilwoman Yolanda Shepherd,
Mayor Reynolds.
Councilman Darrell Honoré.
Councilwoman Diane Howard.
All right, thank you. And please silence your phones for a moment of silence. At this time, we will have approval of the agenda by the council.
All right. Oh, no, I did it afterwards.
I motion to approve the agenda for February 3rd, 2025.
Is there a second?
second.
Any discussion?
I would like to add or make an amendment to the agenda.
All right.
I would like to add letter B under under discussion. The topic being the dog park and the name.
Okay, that's fine. Any other discussion? Any other amendments? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you so much. We have the floor open up at this time for a public hearing. Close out again. All right, so you guys, we gotta close out for public hearing, I guess.
All right, I'd like to make a motion. Oh, you said open? Wait, what?
He said,
Oh, I was going to say what? Okay, I would like to make a motion to open the public hearing for HB 581. I see you shaking your head. That's what's
yes,
confusing
no,
me.
maybe so.
That's why I was like, yeah, I just opened.
Okay, all right. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you so much. All right. Is there anyone here that is for?
I'm going to present what the public hearing is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, so today, February 3rd, 2025, 5:30 p.m., it's a public hearing in reference to House Bill 581, which for everybody is the floating homestead exemption statewide. We only have one chance and one chance only to opt out of H Bill 581, which we have to have 3 public hearings, today being the first, and have an approval no later than March 1st. Just to give an example, kind of how Ed Wall, who will possibly join us next public hearing, our financial advisor, to give more insight. The floating homestead exemption is done statewide through this bill, which in turn, if everybody in the county was to opt in, would allow us to have a extra, what we call flossed. Instead of splossed, it would be called floss, which would be an extra tax revenue, which of course would be sales tax that was put off towards the retail and commercial. But every person or every entity in the county would have to 100% opt in. One person opts out, no one gets it. So that's the deal with that. I know there's been some confusion in, the wording in that, but that's how the floss works. So this is a public hearing to hear from the public. Any comments, concerns? 10 minutes for anybody who's for. 10 minutes for anybody who's not for. And then I guess once we have that, then we'll move on. You guys can discuss amongst each other for a little bit, and then remember we do have 2 more public hearings.
There's no one here for or against, correct? All right.
I'm sorry, I don't see anybody.
Okay, I'm just looking around, making sure. Camera's rolling. That 2 p.m. cutoff, did we get anything in writing? I just text her to see. And council, I'm gonna start to my left side just to see if there's any concerns or questions about the HB 581. Councilwoman Howard?
No,
Okay. Councilman Honore?
I have. No.
All right. Councilwoman Shepherd?
I do have a question. I don't know if the chief needs to be able to ask it, but
Okay.
from the first time we heard about this, chief, I have a question. The first time we heard about this, it came across a little different this time. But I'm wondering, if you just said that all the entities, which means all the cities in DeKalb County,
Cities, counties, and board of education.
in DeKalb County have to agree. Well, I know it doesn't matter if we agree or disagree, we're gonna make our own choice. But does it make sense for all of those entities to get together and have a discussion?
It's just like SPLOST, it's done the exact same way.
Mhm.
The SPLOST is kind of what you guys vote on, then once we're done, we kind of know where we're at with all the other cities. We had a city manager meeting in reference to this. At the city manager meeting, no, we won't set it up.
And that's how it was with our mayor's meeting with cities. And also, where we was at Stonecrest at a hotel, I forgot. Oh, Hilton Garden Inn. And it was a DMA, that's what it was. And all the cities are just out. So, yeah. Okay.
Just wondering.
Okay.
It still doesn't make sense to me, I'm gonna be honest. Like, there's already from the video, Councilwoman Howard said, I appreciate that. There's about 30 or so counties that are already using that system, where they have a floating tax or whatever. But from my understanding, even if we were to opt in, the county itself can charge its own regardless. And then if we were to also move forward, our taxes are based on the inflation rate, and it caps at 3, whatever the inflation rate will be at the time or whatever. Like, I'm not processing.
So the inflation rate last year, 1 month was like 2%, next month was like 2.9, month after that was 2.5. Okay, home values were on an average 10%. Okay, so imagine your home value going up 10%, but the inflation rate was only like, we'll say 3%. So it's a 7% difference that if you are opting in, that 7% would need to be made up some form of way in taxes, because that would be, instead of us getting the value of 10% over the home value, we would only get the value of 3% more. So I'm going to give you an example, and like I said, Ed Wall was trying to be here tonight. He's representing 200 different municipalities in the state, and he's read HB 581 probably 100 times, and he's going to try to be at the next public hearing. He gives the best example, and I've been speaking with him for the past week. I even went and watched him present, just so I could get on my own, get a better idea. And kind of the way he put it was, this bill is more or less makes sense for your $1 million homes, your Cobb, your Gwinnett, your Johns Creek, your Alpharettas, being that, large commercial retail based property values are extremely high. 10% in $1 million home is pretty high, so in turn, HB 581 literally helps out on those higher ones. But when you're talking about a median home price of, 150, 100,000, 200,000, you're talking anywhere between, probably 40 to 100 bucks a difference. I mean, that's not set in stone math. He's running numbers for us, just for the city right now, to give us a true breakdown. But that gives you kind of an idea. Inflation is 3%. Home value goes up 10%. Okay, if you're in, your tax value is only going to go up that 3%. It's not going to go up with the actual 10% value.
So if we were to go with HB 581, that means that we could no longer set our millage rate.
we would set our millage rate, but a millage rate won't be based off the home value. If the value of the house goes up 10%, our millage rate would be based off of the rate of inflation,
Which would be lower, like,
3%.
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
your millage rate still would say 13, 10.021, 11.2, whatever. But what you're getting your taxable money on is not the actual value; it's that rate of inflation. So, for example, a house goes up a house 100,000. If it increases 10%, you're talking about a value of 110, right? Normally, we would get our tax revenue off of that. If it only increases rate of inflation, you're talking about 103,000. You're getting your tax revenue off that 103. So, but like I said, after watching Ed Wall do his presentation, I spoke to him and asked him if he would oblige. He is our financial advisor. Asked him to do one for us and come present, and he's more than happy to. And I kind of caught him late. I didn't know he was doing that until I actually watched the presentation. But he'll definitely be here for us. So, gives you kind of an idea.
Gotcha. Councilwoman Wynn? Okay. All right.
Oh, by the way, we have a decab already has one.
Okay. All right. Hello. How are you, sir?
Good.
Good.
No, I just said
Can I kind of say what my understanding is, so that anybody that might be on the same page? It seems like, okay, so they put a freeze on the taxes, and the tax revenue is going to be cut down. So it's a tax saving. Seems like it's just a tax bill. So this is a tax saving because the people with the higher value homes are complaining about taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a way to cut their taxes. And when you cut their taxes, then we are cutting tax revenue. If we don't, at the end of the day, we don't have enough tax revenue, then services will have to be cut. Our expenses would have to be lowered at some point. So whereas we may save on taxes on one aspect, we actually pay on the other end, either with reduced services or hire something else. The ad valorem tax that's my simple in a nutshell. Because all of this law, it's like
I don't know why they speak it that way to make it all confusing. That's frustrating. But one thing I did look at and hear, one of the videos you sent, I don't know if anyone paid attention to it, that inflation piece, that 3%, you know how they made that example, but then they said you will make it up by going, and this is how I took it. I could be wrong, but this is how I took it, going after the business owners.
Yeah.
And you'll tax your clients. Did you hear that part? I don't like that.
That one.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
So they pay at the end.
Yeah. So then you're going to get it, but you're going to have to go after them to get it, and that's not.
Yeah, and then it
That's
looks
not
like
right.
we're the ones that's doing it by using the ad valorem, whereas people pay inflated prices. That's what they pay, but it doesn't look like it's coming from the city.
Yeah. Well, that's what threw me off. Mm-mm.
Like you said, it works for a car, it works
Yeah.
when it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Much commercial.
and it's a ton of them, so big flats.
It
Yeah.
makes sense for their area,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, right now, I think he just needed information regarding, the exemption. So he's talking to him. So did you all want to?
Make sure you listen.
Oh, yeah, live in the city, yeah. Did you all want to close the public hearing and move forward to our next? I'm ready for a motion.
I make a motion to close our.
Okay.
Public hearing.
All right. He was in Stonecrest. You can proceed.
Okay, I make a motion to close our regular, our public hearing.
Okay.
Our public hearing and go into
All right. Our normal.
our normal
Thank you.
Council meeting, yeah.
council.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. The next up on the agenda is letter B. This will be the dog park and the name of the dog park. And Councilwoman Emmy, you can take it away.
Chief? what I'm gonna do while he's out there, I'm gonna send you guys pictures of the trees. We met out there on Friday. Councilwoman Howard was there for a second, but I don't think we got a chance to talk about the trees. Let me text it to y'all.
You didn't have those tires already, or somebody done those tires?
What tires? Is tires over there?
Yes.
There were tires, but it looks like they were added. Somebody probably added some more. Yeah.
Right on the front.
If we would have saw those tires,
Yeah.
even with those trees.
I've seen them. I can't say exactly when.
Okay, if you guys look at your phone, I sent it in the group message, the 3 trees in question. Hey, Chief. We're on the topic of the dog park name. So I just texted them the 3 pictures in our group chat. And these trees, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I know we have a tree ordinance. However, whenever you're building something like a dog park or wherever else, there's a fence, you want to maintain the beauty and keep the quality or the maintenance low. And these trees present an issue. The tree company actually came out while we were there, and we discussed, the health of them. And I think some of them, or all the ones that I took a picture of, they are not very healthy anyway. So that already means that it could potentially, like whenever we have storms, I know me personally, I've had to deal with the financial impact of limbs and stuff, trees falling. So just wanted to see if we had a consensus on getting these trees taken down. And then based on our ordinance, we have to, I guess, put some type of shrub or tree back away.
Technically, for every 5 that are of decent size, we need to plant 1 something back. Small tree, shrub, something. So if we were to take all 3 of those down, we at least need to put a couple shrubs or bushes around somewhere, which we can visit that when we do a full design, which Harry's meet me there tomorrow, because when Miss Inman was out there, she brought up a very good point to change the direction of the runs, the dog runs, to instead of going this way with the road, to go this way. So you can just enter straight in from the road. So that's one thing that Harry's going to meet me out there tomorrow, so they can change that and do a new drawing with them running this way.
Do we have the original drawing?
I have one. It's not a drawing; it's a scope of work. And then the people that came out and gave us a quote on the fence, we're trying to use just dog park companies, not just a fence company,
Right.
Because it needs to be a metal fence coated with rubber, so you don't have any issues with the dogs. So we had one come out and they gave us a quote going this way. I need to have them come back out and actually do it this way.
Yeah. And then while we're on that topic, there is a little, in that second picture, there's like a little incline here, like you have to step up. So we want to make sure like that when they come out, I guess just kind of seeing to make sure like it won't become a liability issue or whatever. I think we talked about adding more stone.
Yes. So in the picture, and through them cutting these down, they found small pieces of granite out there that were like this,
Mm-hmm.
So in preservation of the granite, I was thinking to utilize the granite to put them into that hill and make them steps for people to walk up. Like if they're inside the run and their dog goes up there and they want to go up there, that granite can act as a step. So it preserves the granite, keeps it here in the city, and keeps it on the property where it's probably been for who knows how long, 50, 100 years. But it does something with it instead of just, getting rid of it. But it makes it kind of a step. And you can put 1 in each. There's enough granite pieces to put 1 in each run.
Question.
A seat out of one of them.
Correct.
A lot of people do that. They're asking for that now.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, a lot of people have it in their yard.
Do you plan, if you put steps there, is that going to require a handrail?
I don't even think it's going to be but maybe 2 steps.
Somebody can slip and fall.
So I mean, we
can see what that requires, but I would hate to have those steps and no handrail.
Yeah,
Some old lady with her dog come through there.
It has to be ADA compliant.
Or young person with their dog. Yeah, and the trees, I'm sorry, the trees, there was a couple of straggler trees in between those right there, and they cut those down. I thought that these was fairly decent, but I also can appreciate a row of trees all consistent and brand new. But then if these trees are not diseased or anything, should we cut them?
So,
Could we put the other trees, the newer bushes are like in between?
Yeah,
yes.
so,
Oh, go ahead.
She said he said they weren't in great shape.
yeah, so like the
What's that?
very first picture, the tree company came out after you left.
Okay.
So the first picture that I sent, it sits by the White House. I don't know if you guys can see that. It has like a little basketball post.
It sits right around the edge of the sidewalk. It actually is kind of grown, the roots have grown and pushed the sidewalk up.
Yeah.
By the White House?
Yep. Not the exact one by the White House, but the one.
Yeah,
that
because
has
we're not talking about that one, are we?
No, the one that has the basketball post. I'm trying to make sure you're on the right picture.
I'm trying to be. Okay, with the basketball post right here, where the other parts is cut down. Look, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one looks bad.
So that one's in bad shape. And so that's the one that we were discussing. And then the second picture, Chief was in communication with the owner by that fence.
Right.
And so our tree is actually leaning into their yard. And they,
They cut it down that day.
That's right.
Yeah, that one was cut down because I
That
talked to them before I left, and they said, yeah, they were cutting that one down. It was in between those trees. But we talked about that one with the basketball goal. That one looks to be having some damage to it. But the two that's by the new fence, because we already cut some out, because I met the owner out there, and she was concerned that the tree, it was another one, it's already cut down, was leaning toward, but even if you look at the other side of her fence, it's way worse than the side. You know, I was like, well, what about that side? So she said that's the neighbor's trees.
yeah, but that's pretty much.
So what do you think about those? Those are okay?
Which ones?
The one by the new fence, it's like two kind of big ones and then a little skinny one.
Okay.
These right here.
No, these are the ones that were leaning into, almost touching her garage. This one right, this down.
Touching her fence?
It's actually, it was touching.
This one already?
Yeah, that one's down. It was touching the garage. When we were standing there, you could see they were like, all the limbs were kind of leaning over that.
There was one that was like that, but it wasn't this
We
one.
don't want trees.
It was, I think it was.
Please say that.
I was there.
Yeah, 'cause when
It was the third one.
the third one, I don't know. I know when me and Miss Emmett were standing there, that's the one where they actually.
So what's left there now?
I
Anything?
think this one, but those are going right there.
Okay, then they're already gone.
Okay, I got two things. The first one is, has anybody ever been to the dog park in the city of Avondale? You know, it's new.
No,
They
that.
had one and then they redid it. It's new. So
I need to check it out.
It's beautiful.
Really?
But two things I noticed that I just mentioned to you, they don't have any trees in the dog. And mentally, I'm saying to myself, trees in the dog park? Even if you go to Piedmont, because I take the dog.
Oh, yeah.
There are no trees in the dog park. The one at Piedmont has a shrub or two on the outskirts. But
What do you
in
do
the dog
for,
park,
what do you do for shade? Do you build shelters? What do you do for shade when the sun is out?
the one at Avondale has a shade, has like a pavilion type on
Pavilion, yeah.
coming off of seating. It's kind of like a pavilion seating almost, which is really nice. But they have the space for it. Our space isn't as big as that space. So when I go to Piedmont, you can Piedmont before?
Yes.
It's just
big.
inches,
Yeah.
no space, no shade. You have to bring it over.
Bring your umbrella.
Yeah, they don't really try to cater to. Unfortunately, you can tell they don't really try to cater to the pet mom or pet dad. They cater more to the dogs. So I'm saying to myself, like, this is the first for us, and we trying to cater to the dogs. Do we really want trees in that space?
No, I would personally, I would say catering more to the person because I went to. There's one somewhere in Stone Mountain. There's a dog park, and it's so hot. So yeah, you're running for the shelter because they do have one of those shelters, and that you're running to. But if your conclusion is to bring your umbrella. You're gonna need something, because when the sun comes out there, you're gonna, I'm not going out.
Well, that's a good point. Maybe we can look at what it will cost to do a. I mean, they are small, so I don't know how big we can go. But like maybe if like the benches can have like a little overhang, that way if the pet mom or dad wants to chill on and get some shade, that's enough room. An actual, you said a pavilion type,
It's like a small pavilion
or
gazebo,
maybe a
looking type
vertical one?
field
Yeah.
with just like a picnic table on
Okay.
it. But I was gonna ask, like, can we reach out to
Avenue.
Avondale
Yeah.
to see who they use?
So Patrick, the city manager over there,
Okay.
I deal with him a lot. So yeah, I
Because
can.
whoever did their dog park did it.
It's probably Patrick.
I have
He's
to go.
really good.
We really have to be mindful of how long we make these, so that they don't be thought of as a bed. Oh, okay, so, you know,
I don't think we see, a lot of cities don't have the problem that we have.
okay,
So we really have to be
mindful
because this
of,
gazebo gets turned into a whole.
We had that conversation while we were out there.
And I ain't gonna be out there with my dog and it's piping hot, and I know that this dog part doesn't have no shade. It's like
Yeah.
we can't cater to everything.
a couple of trees, you can,
Yeah, you can. Most people don't want their dog when it's piping hot out there. So like, you gotta make your own judgment on it.
yeah, come at night, come in the evening,
Let the sun go down a little bit, let the dog play with it. We can't.
or early in the morning,
We gotta be cautious of what we have going on in our neighborhood.
what we build.
Yeah.
So not too comfortable where people want to stay there, and then nice enough for people to go, even visitors. Yeah.
Or like little round things to sit on, you know. You can sit individually, you don't have to have, you know, be sitting next to somebody, but you can spread out around the park. Maybe dogs could jump on it. Another kind of thing they can use.
Yeah.
Take a picture of your dog and
Take a picture of your dog.
So just for clarity, are we saying we want to remove all the trees in the area to make it clean cut and maintain it better for this dog park? Or yes.
I'm saying that it's just my consensus.
I think the tree is so high, I think the shade would even.
I'll have,
It would- yeah.
I'll have them come. I mean, that's, if you guys want to go ahead with it, we can. Rather than say the time to come back, but, I'm not calling them to come out of all of, those, two of those trees are large.
Yeah.
That way, when they grind all the other stuff, they can grind those.
Okay. And there's a tree like offset, like towards, was that Council Street? I always get that name. It's Council or
It's council.
Oh, it's Council. Okay. So there's a tree like going towards that street where it can be decorated. I like how Stonecrest decorates by the library. You could have something neatly set up there at that little beautification piece. And then the last thing I want to mention as far as the aesthetics, the dog water fountain, Chief brought up a good point. There used to be a house that was there on that parcel. So it would be nice if we can have a dog water fountain like near the street so it can easily tap into the sewage. And I guess Harry or whomever can verify.
We found there is a Superman.
So when he's out there in the sun or baking, he can have some water.
Can't help that.
Right.
You know, yes, you should,
Yeah,
right?
you can't, I don't think you can have a dog park without. I have never been to one in Atlanta. I went to a couple that didn't have a fountain.
So is it gonna be one for the dogs and then a taller one for the humans?
No.
Well, okay.
I don't know.
Usually it's just like for dogs.
Just for dogs?
Usually, I mean, if we can get it fancy that way, then great. I mean,
Yeah, I've seen those one.
Yeah.
But once the water is flowing, I mean, it's just a matter of making the,
yeah.
But just have a bucket there with more in it.
yeah, what I seen, and when I first mentioned water, there was a front, almost like a storefront, and it had a big bin, and it had water in there. You put your dog in there and wash it. But
Now,
that's a
I feel
whole
like,
other
I
story.
love that idea, but I feel like you're really talking about a homeless issue.
Yeah.
So,
That's why I didn't push it no
Yeah.
more. I ain't push it no more.
Like a cowboy.
right. Okay, and so that sounds good. So the last thing I wanted to say was, as you guys know, whenever we have ideas, I think it's important to kind of like leave some type of legacy individually, right? So the only reason why I bring this up is because whether I decide to run again or not, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I want to have something that I'm gonna say, okay, I definitely, this is my baby. I helped to create this, and et cetera, et cetera. So I want to bring it to you guys and see if there's a consensus where I can name it Amelia Dog Park. Can't name it Emmon because there's already Emmon, right?
Yeah.
Park out there. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it should be city mayor and city council because we all are making a part in this thing. So I think we should have mayor and council
Huh?
because
You okay with Amelia? How about you?
that's what it had down there at the center.
I like the name.
Amelia Dog Park.
I like that name.
Thank you.
What's the name of it?
Well, it could be Amelia Dog
But I
Park,
don't
but it
know.
still should be a plaque where everybody is
Thank you.
Oh,
included.
yeah, well, yeah, dedicated by
Yeah,
the mayor of city council.
yeah, but for the name, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
But just a
Like a
plaque for the
stone.
city, yeah. Because that's what they did down at the center.
And then-
Any building that the county do, they put everybody's name.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, we can make this a momentous occasion as well by bringing out our media, doing the little
Groundbreaking.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's something that can, of course, be for the overall city. But that was just my one request. You know, I've been championing the dog park for the longest,
Mhm.
and yeah, that's it.
I
So
think we all brought that up.
okay.
All right, so as far as the park, do we need to vote on that or what y'all thinking? What?
I don't know. Is it a consensus or how does that?
I didn't come with a,
The dog name and everything else with the trees.
Okay, okay, so we'll bring it back up. Okay,
We can vote next week, but that's not something
okay, got you. And I do have a request, Amelia Park. I like Amelia Dog Park. Yeah. Can we get like a sign, whatever that name is gonna be, and place it there? I would love to see that.
would be a good idea. Ms. David, so if we have both runs that run next to each other this way, we have a sign that's big enough that one post is in one run, the other one goes over both.
Mhm.
It can have the name of the park and then some of the rules, because one thing we talked about is when
Yeah.
it needs to say, dusk to dawn, can't be in the park
Yeah.
after dark, that way we don't have no one hanging out trying to sleep in the ditches.
Gotcha.
Again, I don't know if we're gonna do this, because this is another piece of fencing. I don't know if we're gonna separate big dogs from little dogs.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, yes, yeah, you'll have two.
And it
So,
doesn't.
yeah, I do agree, we need
Yeah,
to.
you'll have two. You'll have one
Okay.
run for one and the fence in the middle.
Okay.
But the sign can be where half is in this and half is in this, and it's up towards the front. So it's out of the way, it's kind of towards the front corner, and it's along the roadway.
Okay.
It's one of the-
I like Lithonia City Dog Park.
Did
I
you
like that,
need to
yeah.
mention the street connection from the path to the dog park? I know you mentioned was it the sidewalk being done now or later after we put all the projects together? For the,
It's all gonna be done at one time.
at one time, okay.
Okay.
Sounds good, thank you.
Alrighty. So only thing next we have is actually the mayor's report, council report. You have anything on your end?
From the administration side, I don't know if you guys saw our sidewalk on Klondike.
Amazing.
Mm.
So I will say this, I try to get out there probably 3 or 4 times a day. I walk it just to make sure we got everything going. Me and Harry been out there numerous times. Harry gets there about 7:30 in the morning to make sure that they're ready to go. I have yet to be out there and somebody not drive by, roll the window down and say thank you.
That's PKS,
Yes,
they doing a good job.
yes. The gentleman in the wheelchair that we've talked about for how many years?
Yes.
All the way.
The very first day when they broke ground, he was there.
Oh, yeah.
Came to my
He
house.
was just ecstatic. Today, I was actually driving down from this side because they were starting to finish up down towards the end, and I've already saw kids walking down
I've seen people running already.
the sidewalk. Yes,
Mhm.
they'll probably be completely done maybe tomorrow, no later than Wednesday.
Are they doing the curve too?
So the curbing,
Yeah, like from the other street to one by the ditch
Yeah, they're putting ramps
at the
in
church.
at the church.
To me, across the street from the church,
Yeah, you know where
at Miss Browning's house.
Yeah.
So at Magnolia and Klondike, they're redoing all that. At Magnolia and Klondike, they're redoing the sewer top
Yeah,
because it was too far in.
That's what they were doing.
They're redoing the curbing right there and everything, and they're putting a long ramp in right there so we have good water drainage this way. And they already cleaned out some of the storm drain that's right there. Then they put a new storm pipe in on the other side at the corner of Fred Reynolds'
Sister Cora.
sister. They put a new storm drainage in right there so it drains better too. So that should be done probably tomorrow, no later than Wednesday. I'm looking at trying to get some quotes on some trash cans to put there. So we have 1 or 2 trash cans. I had Munson pull up all the signs, the street signs, the speed limit, the city, all that. We're going to just go ahead and replace those signs right there with new ones. Same sign, we're just putting new ones up to make it look all fresh and match the sidewalk. Because they had to pull them up anyways to move them. So I figured if we're going to pull them up, we might as well just replace them with brand new ones. That's all I have on the city.
I got a question in that report. On the sides of the sidewalk is dirt, sidewalk dirt. Will they lay new grass
They're
or
gonna
do
seed
we
it.
see?
They're
Okay,
gonna-
they're gonna seed it. Okay.
Yes, but that's one thing we talked about when they started is that's why you saw they graded it off and they filled that in. They're going to seed that
Okay.
with some seeds so that way the grass will grow back in.
Okay.
Because if you lay sod, it's going to look completely different from everybody else's grass. You're going to, and forever you'll have, maybe fescue or Bermuda,
Yeah.
and you'll just have regular grass.
Okay.
So it'll all look the same. From the police side, Patterson was part of it. So Captain Patterson, Sergeant Jackson, Sergeant Roach, and Warren all went on a detail last
Wednesday, yeah.
last Wednesday. So Tuesday, I got a phone call from an investigator in Texas. The investigator stated that there was somebody that was living in Lithonia as a resident that was a part of a fraud scheme that was taking hundreds of thousands of dollars from elderly and anybody they could via phone, internet, all that. He said that he wanted to come down, see if we could help him with trying to not only track down the person, but write a search warrant, any paperwork you need to do. I said, well, we'll do you one better. Let me know what time you land. We'll have somebody at the airport for you, get you here, all this, because he already had warrants for the subject and everything. He landed, got here about 1:30, 2 o'clock. We all had a meeting upstairs. I had Jackson, or all of them, including the Texas investigator, load up in one of the SUVs and basically said, go find them. Let me know when you find them. Try not to come back until you find them. So they went to his house that was here in the city. Wasn't there, went all the way to Fairburn where we had word that he was. Started following him through camera systems, electronic devices. We were able to track him down in Snellville at the Walmart on 124, at which time he was charged with 4 felony counts. And what I'm hearing is the total is going to be roughly about $200,000 a month that was taken from the LC.
Wow.
200,000 a month.
That's a good job, Chief. Good job.
So they were able to locate him. He stayed here until he waived his extradition, and we helped get him, the investigator and the subject, to the airport on a plane back to Texas. I got a call from the sheriff of Collin County and the deputy chief just saying thank you, and that they've never, and this guy does this, he tries to go around and track financial crimes for them, and said that they've never had somebody actually join forces with them and say, look, we're going to go find them and we're going to do what we got to do until we find them. So it was a good operation. There's more people involved that they're supposed to be sending us the information on.
It's got to be a different kind of person to go after older
Just
people.
to let y'all know.
Yeah, no.
See.
So that's all I have. Yeah, go ahead.
I had one thing. The light on the corner of Vaughn at think it's out in front of that brick house. It's real dark. You might look at it.
On the power, is it on the power pole?
Yeah.
I'll tell Munson I called
Yeah.
Georgia
It
Power.
look like when the park is after the Christmas lights went out. It look like we need some lights over there. I know we can't put them there.
And a couple of our new lights are out.
Yeah?
Okay. Right by the apartments.
Okay, I know over, I had talked to Mr. Munson about it, coming on off of Pine Mountain at night. You can't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you do, you're just about up on a person.
Did we not have that light replaced about a
It is, I don't
year and a
know.
half, 2 years ago?
Which one?
That Pine Mountain, I think Pine Mountain Smoky Road. I thought we had that light
Coming up
replaced.
from Pine Mountain to the
Because we had the same issue before. It's right over there.
And that's somebody busting it out.
And I was saying somebody's trying it.
It's just, you know, when you put it
On purpose?
but the church
Yeah.
is right across the church.
Yeah, it's right.
Right, and we need that light because you cannot
Mhm.
see
You're right.
at night. People are jumping over in the bushes. I try to stay close to the curb because you got cars coming out. There are no lines there, and you're trying to keep from hitting the car.
I'm gonna tell Munson I have Georgia Power do a check on all the
I
lights.
appreciate it.
Because I know we replaced that light. I want to say it was 2 years ago.
And I do know that some of the people over there think that, the cab has a camera over there. And maybe that's why, I don't know. I'm just saying, but at the same time, we need that light. The people need it. The people that walk,
Mhm.
they need that light. When I'm coming up going to my mom, I want to be able to see too.
Do they have sidewalks over there?
Uh-uh.
That's what we need to start. doing.
Yeah, we do. We really do need
Sidewalk,
that.
we have money.
We have a tree we have a tree, like if the wind blow, it's just decayed. It needs to be down. If you push it, it'll come, if you push it right.
Where's the tree at?
It's up above the church, you know where that trailer used to be?
Mm-hmm.
It's on that side, and it's, when you see it, it's rotten already. It's already rotten.
I'm telling Munson to go look at it, see if there's one that is on us.
And in front of my driveway is going in and in.
So Harry's scheduling the traffic guys to come and do the traffic study on the roads. I do know that. We talked about that last week when we were over on Klondike.
Would that be part of the sidewalk, the can? Would that be, remember we talked about the granite on the curbings, not the sidewalk, the granite on the curbings on some of these streets? Like the granite on the curbing in front of my house is eroding my yard.
I don't have any granite.
So like, that's gonna be, when we come to that, it's gonna be a decision to make, either take it up, because it's expensive,
Yeah, it's
To
just
keep
my driveway and
maintaining.
everything.
because that we're gonna deal with that 10 years from now. Again, once you reset it, it's just, over time, there's no way to prevent, I mean, it's just gonna settle in, because it's just curbing that's sitting there along the road in the ground. Once the ground saturates enough, it's just gonna, over time, yeah, it's just gonna sink down.
To take that away would be going backwards, because what you want to do is have curbing.
No, I'm not saying to take away curbing at all. I'm talking about replace it with like concrete curbing, which is more built in, and it's a footing, and it's built in like this. It's not just sitting there. Because you know the concrete is all like one big long piece. So, but yeah, I mean we can add that. I think we looked at that. And I may ask her, because I think we talked to somebody to see what they said, and they said it would just be very time consuming because you have to take each individual piece, pull it up, redo it, try to reset it, and try to level it out as you go down. As opposed to if you took it all out, did something else with it, you know, to preserve it, doing something else, and just put in.
I like that, new sidewalks in that area, because, you know, that way in Braswell, like they live in a little country towns, you know, the city's right here, so we kind of not disrespecting it.
I will tell you this, just to put it out there to council to think about, there is a ton of right of way that would be perfect to run a sidewalk from, right here at the railroad tracks all the way out to, Pine Mountain. That if you notice, if you go down on the right, not on the left, because the left slopes down and then you've got too many driveways and stuff, but on the right, if you look, it's literally a flat area right there that goes pretty much all the way around, bends that corner right before you get to Rock Chapel.
Because you have people walking on 124 as
Yeah.
coming to the city to get the bus.
So we can put that in there and look at too.
You know, if those lights was changed on, Conyers Street, the two that was right there by the track.
That wasn't a part of this project.
No, that was something I had called you about.
Oh, probably not yet. So they're gonna have to come look at all. They're gonna have to come look at all the lights.
No, but what we were divided among areas where, Mr. Van and myself was monitoring. So, I mean, what else? That's what we were put, did we say that at one point? Y'all don't remember that? It was kind of put in sections.
Yeah, I stopped doing it when I came on. I had asked about it.
Well, that's what we said, but of course, if anything come up in any area, we can take care of it.
Work together, come together as one.
And it makes sense because you guys are on that side, divided by the tracks,
You
so.
know, it is, but a lot of times you have people, behind, like on the middle school, they still come and talk to different one of us, as well as over there, the Trace in front, they come and talk to different people. And they're people, you know, that are familiar, you know, they'll say, well, do you know this is happening over there? Can you do this or can you do that? I don't know if anybody called you about.
Yeah, well, you know, Miss
I
Reed
have
is over there,
given your name
I
out.
talk to her a lot.
I have given your name. I said, if I can't do it, call Miss Howard.
Miss Reed, of course, and then Miss Harper, they will call and
And Miss Anderson, I don't know if she's calling you yet. I said, call her, reach out to her.
yeah. And like you said, you know, whatever we can do, wherever it is, we
We
try
just work
to do
together.
what we can,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you can't do it, don't pass it on to somebody who might have a little bit more knowledge or know how to get, you know. But you need that light on time.
I sent y'all a picture. I'm gonna read it to you. Of the restroom facilities in downtown Conyers.
Mm.
Just a thought for when we get the parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because our plan is to be more productive on Main Street and get more business and all that. So I thought if you really need.
I love that.
I saw that. That's nice.
Facility.
That would be nice.
You said a park, that is
A restroom, I said the restroom facility,
downtown?
downtown Conyers. But we need one downtown Lithonia.
Yeah.
24-hour visit.
And they're nice and clean in there too.
Nice and clean. But yet again, they don't have a lot of the issues that we have.
True.
But that's okay, because we're gonna work on it too.
So this, you're saying having a visitor office?
Not- Yes to that too. Yes to do, but that's the restroom.
Okay.
On
So I
both
was wondering
sides,
what you was,
on both sides of these restroom facilities, that the whole little kit caboodle. The
that
part where you see the visitor thing is just flyers that they have flyers, nobody there, it's just flyers on the wall. You can grab and see what they got. Which we still can do that too. We don't physically have to have anybody there.
Yeah, the slots.
Since they already gotta do drainage and all of that stuff.
That's
Just
a
something
good
to think about.
Did we say whether or not we were gonna have someone
Monitoring.
monitoring the parking lot? Is that gonna be an actual person, or we gonna put slots with numbers on there?
Oh, I don't even know if we got that far yet.
Like, you know how they have those big things, and they have cameras, make sure
Hmm.
that number that you put the money in that slot?
Oh, you mean for parking?
Yeah,
Oh.
I would say self-pay.
yeah, that's what
Like
that
the
is.
app for people scan, that's just,
Oh, that's even better.
yeah, I don't know any parking lot with parking.
I know downtown Decatur, but that's like a private thing.
You know, so some of the news where those scan things, lead to fraud, you know, self-scan.
Wow.
Make sure it's not something on top of
Probably
it.
that
Oh,
way.
wow.
We too
Oh,
small
like
for
the
that.
bank,
You know, they let people just come and put.
They changed
stick
it.
over.
They changed the thing. They don't
so they're gonna
like
scan the money that's going to them instead of.
That's crazy.
You know, people think it's.
Mm-hmm. They're getting too
And
smart.
then we had Target because of Miss Hall.
Mm. Anything else? You got, okay. Anything else?
One other thing, I had a few people asking me about the streets, and they haven't seen the street sweepers lately, so I just wanted to bring that up.
Today.
He
Hmm?
did 8 streets today, he did like 3 left. He's gotta do a law, right?
Okay.
Cause we said that for the MS school.
Okay, that was it.
All right. That is it. So are you all ready for a motion to adjourn? Oh, I'm sorry, executive session.
I had one last thing.
Oh.
One last thing. So the ATM does not work. So
What, Citizen Trust?
I have a problem with it.
It won't. It don't work.
They need to figure something out.
They need to send my message to the manager.
Yeah, they figure something like, don't have, you already got, the property is dilapidated. If y'all see the trash in the, you know how you go in the front, when you used to go in the front of the bank? It's a trash can right now. The trash is overflowing down into the door because nobody's been out there to take care of the property. It's horrible.
I'm sending him everything you're saying. Anything else?
You don't want me to clean up, I'm sending a fat bill. But yeah, that is, no, it's right behind my house, the fencing is breaking up, it's just a mess.
I have a question for executive session. It'll be short, but I'll make it long.
Okay, that's up to y'all.
Okay.
All right, so is there a need for executive session?
I would say yes.
And it is for
Real estate.
anything else? Just real
Anybody
estate.
have anything else y'all want to?
Okay. All right, make a motion.
I'm going to go to executive session for real estate.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Alright.
Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. Hold on for just a second. We got to make sure that camera is off. All right, we are back in our normal city council meeting. It is still February 3rd, 2025. It is now 6:45 p.m. There is no action regarding executive session. It was regarding real estate. And at this time, I would like a motion to adjourn our normal city council meeting.
I like to make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Alright.
Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you.